I made a promise back on VCR Day, and now the time has come to make good on it, even if it isn't entirely in the way I wanted to. But more about that later. This tape right here, and this VCR right here, was the one I would always use to record monster movies, and our local horror host was always my favorite place to see him. So I'd like to share an episode of his show with you. I've removed anything that had hit a content match, because I don't want to deal with that drama again. But here he is, in all his glory, Mr. Ghoul.
Now a Mr. Ghoul special presentation. Mr. Ghoul's Call-O-Ween.
Greetings, my dear friends. As always, I am Mr. Ghoul, and I'm just tickled to death to have you with us on this fine hallowed eve. Tonight, as I accompany you through the film Dracula vs. Frankenstein, I will also be taking your questions and requests and anything else your dark little hearts can conceive. It's going to be quite the workout for poor Archie. Speaking of which, oh Archie! Kindly roll film. And now I'm pleased to present to you tonight's film, Dracula vs. Frankenstein. Who turned out the lights? Ah, that's much better. I believe it is now time for our first caller of the evening. Archie, will you put our first caller through?
Hello?
Hello, you are currently speaking with Mr. Ghoul.
I am? Holy
Watch your language. Now, what is your request?
I was kind of hoping you'd be playing the Wolfman tonight. Could you at least play one of the scenes with the guy turning into the werewolf?
Unfortunately, I don't currently have the Wolfman in my collection, but I have something that might interest you.
What?
The werewolf transformation from 1942's The Mad Monster.
That's not what I asked for, you ugly son of a...
Oh dear, we seem to have been cut off. Anyway, in this clip, a mad scientist played by George Zuko, angry at his failure to create a new kind of carbonated beverage, injects his gardener, played by Glenn Strange, with wolf blood to prove he's not insane.
Are you quite comfortable, Peter?
Sure, Doctor.
You're not afraid?
I ain't got no reason to be afraid.
Yeah, that's right, Peter. There's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing at all. There, did that hurt?
No, that was just like a pin sticking me. How come I have to have these straps on, Doc?
Well, you see, Peter, I'm trying a new formula. I wouldn't want you to make a sudden move and fall off the couch. Now, don't worry. It'll only be for a little while. How do you feel now?
I feel just like I always did when you stick me with that thing. I'm kind of sleepy. I want to sleep now.
That's right. Go to sleep. Gentlemen, I wish you were here to see the proof of my claim. The transfusion of blood between different species is possible. A few moments ago, Petro was a man. A harmless, good-natured man. Look at him now. He's no longer human. He's a wolf. Snarling, ferocious, lusting for the kill. You're looking at a scientific miracle, gentlemen.
You're a madman, Cameron. Your claim is ridiculous.
That's exactly what you said in the newspapers, isn't it, Professor Blaine? That I was a madman, not fit to occupy a science chair at the university. Perhaps you'll change your mind one day, soon, when Petro tears at your throat.
Poppycock.
You may laugh if you want to. But look. Even now, he'd like to be at his work. My catalytic agent has brought about a complete transition from man to wolf.
Your crazy experiments are a disgrace to science.
Yes. Those are the very words you used in denouncing me to the faculty. Professor Fitzgerald. Science. What do you know about science? You with your hidebound dogmas and shriveled mind that refuses to recognize progress.
What has progress to do with your foolish tampering with nature?
I'm glad you asked that question, Professor Hatfield. You also were one of those stupid fools who raised their voices against me. You're aware, of course, that this country is at war. That our armed forces are locked in combat with a savage horde who fight with fanatical fury. Well, that fanatical fury will avail them nothing when I place my new serum at the disposal of the War Department. Just picture, gentlemen, an army of wolfmen, fearless, raging, every man a snarling animal. My serum will make it possible to unloose millions of such animal men. Men who are governed by one collective thought, the animal lust to kill without regard to personal safety. Such an army will be invincible, gentlemen. Such an army will sweep everything before it.
Your scheme is too utterly fantastic, Dr. Cameron.
You're fools, all of you. Poor, blind fools, especially you, Dr. Warwick.
Assuming that what you say is true, how would you control these wolfmen?
I perfected an antidote that induces the return of immediate normalcy.
And I suppose that it would be an easy matter to round up 1,000,000 wild animals and administer an antidote. No, Cameron, you're mad. Stark, raving mad. And I, for one, am in favor of...
Silence! I'm not interested in your imbecilic mouthings. You all of you demonstrated your lack of vision by demanding my resignation from the faculty. Well, you accomplished your purpose. You cast me out. You robbed me of everything that I held most dear in life. Position, honor, respect. You branded me as a madman, held me up to ridicule before the whole world. But now it's time for my revenge. Petro will see to that. Now you shall pay for your folly. There's no escape for any of you. You shall die one by one at the hands of the scientific marvel that you scoffed at.
You can't intimidate us with fantastic threats.
You're a faker, Cameron, a mad faker.
We'll have you ostracized by every scientist in the country.
There are institutions for madmen, and we'll see that you're confined in one.
You will see, gentlemen. You will see.
Yes, it's very easy to see how sane a man who talks the mental aberrations of people who've disparaged him in the past is, isn't it? We'll be right back. Welcome back. You seem to have caught me enjoying my favorite snack, a finger sandwich. It's a little dry. And speaking of snacks, we have another caller waiting on the line. Hello, caller.
Oh my god, this is so exciting, I'm on TV!
Well, your voice is anyway. What was your request?
I just wanted to say that I love your show.
Why, thank you.
But I think it would be better if Archie were in charge. He's a lot cuter than you.
I guess that's what I get for letting Archie screen the calls. Let's get back to the movie. Oh dear, that's not the correct way to ask someone a question. That much violence just seems excessive. There's no way he can pass that off as an accident. I'd love to see him try to explain his way out of this. I'm sure he found it exhilarating. Okay, I'm done. We'll be right back. Hello again. I think it's just about time for another call. You're on the air, caller. What is your question?
Chop wood for a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
I open myself up to the public and this is what happens. Well, you get back to the film. I'm going to go find somebody who isn't Archie to screen the calls.
You didn't answer my question.
And I never will. Hello, while you were gone, I managed to talk the station janitor into taking a break from cleaning the bathroom to screen calls for us, so we shall hopefully have no further crank callers. We'll be right back. Oh yes, Archie just reminded me to tell you all that we will be at the Hogan County Halloween Fair this Thursday night to judge the costume contest sponsored by WGHS. The winner of which will receive a $100 Target gift certificate and an appearance on next week's show. No, Archie, you can't enter the contest. Firstly, we're the judges, which would give you an unfair advantage over the rest of the contestants. Secondly, the entry form clearly states no bats allowed. And finally, I've seen your costume, and you stand no chance of winning anyway. We'll be right back. Ah, you're still here. Unless you're just joining us, in which case, get out while you still can. I'm kidding, of course. Let's get back to the film. Oh, you caught me in the middle of checking my mail. I love getting mail. It lets me know people are thinking about me. Like this one. Dear Mr. Ghoul, either pay me the money you owe me or we'll see just how much uglier you can get. Love, Grandma. It's nice to know the old bat's still kicking. I didn't mean she was actually a bat, Archie, and even if she was, she's old enough you could actually outlive her. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. We'll be right back. Oh, you're back. My, gluttons for punishment, aren't we? But before we get back to the film, we have one more caller who says they have a simple question.
Hello?
Hello, what is your question?
Yeah, do you know what 664,751 times 8 is?
I'm a horror host, not a homework helpline. Figure it out yourself.
But
People these days. Anyway, let's get back to Frankula versus Drakenstein. Oh, sorry. Dracula versus Frankenstein. Hurry, 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 step right up. Come to gawk, jeer, and poke things that are marginally different than what you're used to in Mr. Ghoul's house of slightly abnormal things. See the apple, which is slightly the wrong color. Marvel at a pair of gloves made for a woman with only one arm. And gasp in horror at Bradley, the man whose name is Bradley. You can't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be pointlessly horrified at a random assortment of objects. It's going, and we'll be right back. Before we get back to Dracula vs. Frankenstein, I would like to remind you all that Archie and I will be at the Hogan County Halloween Fair as judges for the costume contest, sponsored by WGHS. The first prize winner will receive a $100 Target gift certificate and appearance on next week's show. And I believe we have time for one more quick caller. Hello, caller, you're on the air with Mr. Ghoul. Bradley, get off the line. I have real callers waiting. Hello, actual caller. Bradley, I told you to get off the line. Now stop this foolishness before I send you back to the cannon plant. As an ingredient this time. Hello, caller. Don't be Bradley. For badness sake, Bradley! When I go take care of Bradley, here's some more of Dracula versus Frankenstein.
And now, Fiendish Fortunes with Mr. Ghoul.
As tonight is Call-O-Ween, consultation with the spirits will be conducted a little bit differently. Tonight I shall tell the fortunes of some of my viewers who have been patient enough to wait on the line. Hello, caller. Kindly state your name.
Morgan.
Hello, Morgan. I can tell you are a profoundly lonely young woman who longs for romantic companionship.
How'd you know that?
The spirits told me. They also tell me you won't be lonely for long. They see you meeting a young man named David.
Really? When will I meet him?
In about 30 seconds. He's currently in the process of breaking into your garage to steal your lawnmower.
What?
Thank you for calling. Hello, caller. Kindly state your name.
Keith?
Hello, Keith. I can tell you are nervous about an upcoming social event of some kind.
Yeah, I've been invited to a Halloween party. I'm kind of nervous about it.
The spirits are saying it would be better if you stayed home.
Why?
Let's just say the amount of fun you'd have wouldn't be worth the trip to the emergency room. Thank you for calling. Hello, caller. Kindly state your name.
You're a freak. Why don't you just fall back in the hole you crawled out of?
I can tell you're a kind, understanding individual who will soon get what's coming to him. A knife to the back of the head. And with that, the spirits are spent. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We appear to be experiencing some technical difficulties with the phone line, so I sent Archie to fix it. This may take longer to fix than I thought. Let's get back to the film while Archie tries again. The phone situation seems to have been sorted, so it's time for another call. Hello, caller.
It's about time. I've been on hold for 15 minutes.
I'm answering as quickly as I'm able under the circumstances.
Yeah, whatever. I want a large deep dish with extra cheese, olive, sausage, and onions.
You seem to have dialed the wrong number. This isn't a pizzeria. You're live on the air with Mr. Ghoul.
So, no pizza?
No.
Then what good are you?
My public. We'll be right back. Before we get back to the film, it's time for a caller who actually meant to call here. Hello, I believe you had a question for me.
I heard you used to be in a comedy duo.
You were well informed. My partner, Mr. Spooks, and I were once part of a show that attempted to revive the glory days of vaudeville.
Can I see it?
Never in a million years. Archie, roll film.
Hey, Mr. Ghoul. Yes, Mr. Spooks. What do you call a pig with 3 eyes?
I don't know. What do you call a pig with 3 eyes?
A freak of nature.
Say, Mr. Spooks.
Yes, Mr. Ghoul.
Who's that abomination I saw you with last night?
That was no abomination. That was my wife. Say, Mr. Ghoul.
Yes, Mr. Spooks. What do you call... That's not what I meant by roll film, and you very well know it. While I give Archie what's coming to him, let us return to Dracula versus Frankenstein. My, what a time to be losing one's head. We'll be right back. Before we get to the end of tonight's movie, we have another request. What would you like to see, caller?
I want to see some with Bela Lugosi in it.
Ah, a fellow man of taste. I think I have just the thing for you. In this clip from Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla, we see a jailless Bela turning discount Dean Martin Duke Mitchell into a man in a gorilla suit to keep him away from the native girl they are both in love with.
Now, let's see if my lovely Nona will prefer you to me.
Suppose he ain't here. Then what?
Then he must be lost in the jungle, and we better go find him before it's too late.
Dookie! Come out, wherever you are. Maybe he's hiding. Duke!
Hide his clothes in there, and put Ramona in there, too.
What have you seen, Duke? Dookie!
Maybe he's in the laboratory. Come on. Doctor, the Duke come...
Where'd he come from?
Another step in my experiment, my dear. Ramona is now a gorilla.
Ramona? This is Ramona?
Yes.
Boy, I'd hate to have to rock her to sleep now.
Do you intend to advance her one more step?
To the human level? No.
I don't blame you, Doc. It's the stupidest looking gorilla I ever saw.
Did Peppy have any good news for our friend you?
I don't know. We can't find him. He must be lost in the jungle. Some of my people are searching for him. Sammy, I think we'd better go back to the village.
Not me. I'm tired of chasing around. I'll wait here.
I will be glad to go with you, my dear. Come.
Was that sufficient for your needs?
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
Too bad Bela didn't share the sentiment. Thank you for calling. And now it's time for the conclusion of Dracula versus Frankenstein. Of all the movies I've seen, that was certainly one of them. Before we part ways until next time, I am contractually obligated to tell you all one more time that Archie and I will be at the Hogan County Halloween Fair as judges for the costume contest, sponsored by WGHS. The best costume as judged by us will receive a $100 Target gift certificate and an appearance on next week's show. And now I believe we have just enough time for one more quick caller. Hello, you're on the air with Mr. Ghoul. It seems we've either made contact with someone trapped in the bowels of hell, or it's my ex-wife. Either way, I don't think you will want to stick around for this one. Until we meet again, I wish you the worst of nightmares and the best of frights. Farewell.
And now it's time for Mr. Ghoul.
Greetings, my dear friends. As always, I am Mr. Ghoul, and I am just tickled to death to have you with us on this fine Hallowed Eve. Tonight, as much as I would like to introduce this film myself, I instead must give the honors to the brother and sister who won the Hogan County Halloween Fair costume contest with their creation, a two-headed monstrosity named Dennis. Not only did it show marvelous creativity, it wasn't store-bought like 90% of the other entrants. Take it away, children.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Hippo. And
Mr.
Mr.
Ghoul,
Ghoul,
we would like you to play
Frankenstein's daughter. Please.
Just this once, your wish is my command, my dear children. Archie, roll film.
That last clip was from the episode I wanted to show you, but halfway through the first movie segment I found out our mother taped over the rest with 3 hours of random PBS shows. Never before have I been so disappointed to see Big Bird and Cookie Monster. Well, that's it. I'm sorry if you were expecting more and were disappointed. No, I'm not. Happy Halloween!